The intent of this video is to go through the packet to show you how to create a candle votive. Now, building this up is going to use a lot of different techniques that we have learned so far. Specifically, though, we're going to be going ahead and figuring out a way to basically make an interlocking design. So these things actually go ahead and lace together. So when we go ahead and we design this Fusion 360, we can put this into stock and use it as a laser cutter or some other device and CNC machine to cut it out. And you will get a very, very accurate and very tight cut and assembly when you do this. As we do this, follow along with the visuals and the still images that are in the packet. It is essential. I have the packet right here with me as I'm going along with it too. I'm going to make the simple candle votive first of all. I'm going to go through here and make sure that I have my units in inches. So I'm currently in millimeters. I'm going to go over and change to inches. Click OK. And I'm set. I'm going to go into Sketch. I'm going to choose one of my planes. And I am going to make it a rectangle the size of 5 inches by 2.5. And from here, I am going to finish my sketch. And I'm going to create a new profile or parameter. I'm going to modify, change parameters. I do not have any parameters, so I'm going to click the plus button. I'm going to enter it in. It's going to be called ply. And in this situation, our plywood is going to be 0.11 inches. In reality, whatever the thickness of the stock that we're using is what we will put in here. In this situation, it's 0.11. All right, from here, I am going to extrude it out by PLY. Hit enter. Make sure that it's new body, even though it's not cutting into anything. It's always good practice. Click OK, and I have it here. Next piece is I want to make the bottom of the votive. So what I'm doing right now is just setting up all 5 sides because we do not have a top. So I'm going to do a sketch. I'm going to put this directly on the bottom like that. And from here, I'm going to get my rectangle tool. And dimensions of this are 2.5 by 2.5, I believe. Yes, that is correct. And I'm hitting tab to go between the two parameter boxes. So I have my base, I finished my sketch. And with that said, I'm now going to extrude this. And I'm going to boot it down, once again making sure I have new body. And be careful you get the whole thing because the geometry has made 2 shapes here. I need to make sure that I select both of these little pieces. And I'm going to do the length of ply. Once again, change to join. I want new body. Enter. And I now have 2 bodies. And I'm just for the sake of ease, I'm going to name this by double clicking on it and call this bottom. This is going to help me as I move through some stuff. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a mirror technique. And I want this particular side directly on the other side. To do this, I'm going to go through and create what is called a midplane. So what this does is I take one side from here, an edge, identify an opposite edge, and then it will draw a plane directly between the 2 of those. So I select my 2 planes and I click OK. And I now have a midplane that I can mirror across. So with that, I'm going to go to making sure that I'm not in Sketch or anything like that. Create, go down to Mirror, and it's going to ask me to select my objects. This is my object, and I'm going to mirror it across the new plane that I've just made, and it's there. And once again, I'm choosing a new body and clicking OK. And I now have a new body directly on the top. Just going to name this front. Is that how it is? No, back and front. It makes this one front. There we go. Okay, I'm going to now use another technique called project plane. We've done this. And I'm going to make a side, and I want something to appear directly on top of this. So I'm going to choose an edge of one of these pieces for my sketch. And I'm going to go to Create, Project, and I am going to choose this entire piece right here. Making sure I select it all, projection link, turn it on, and that did not work. Try that again. Create, project include. I want this one. I want this one. And I want the bottom one right here. They're all included. Okay. Why is that not working? Control Z. One more time. Create, project include. Let me choose bodies. And OK. There we go. Sometimes you just got to try things a little bit different to make sure it actually works. All right, and I am now going to create a rectangle from this point here down to this point right here. So it's going to wedge perfectly inside there. Finish my sketch. Extrude. This is the object I want to do it. Now I do not want it to go out over the lip here. I want it to go the opposite way, and that's okay. I just type in negative PLY. That's an extrude, making sure I do not join. New body. Click OK. And I have this new body right here. And I'm going to call this one left. All right, from here, I am going to create and do the mirror technique. In order to do this, I need to construct another midplane. So midplane from right here, midplane from right here. Okay. Create mirror this object across this midplane. New body. Okay. And that's not left one anymore. That is now right. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to create and project another plane. To do this, I do not want the face one here where it's blocked off, but I want to be able to see all the edges. So I want to be able to see this side, this body, the front right here, the back right here, and the right here. So to do that, I'm going to do sketch, click on this face. It's there. And I'm going to do the project include again. Create, project include, click, and get all four of these faces. as I go through here and click OK. All right, and here it is. So what this does is it gives me a sketch. If I turn off all my bodies, I can see I have a pre-made sketch, which basically gives me all the dimensions that I need to make this work. And from here, I want to basically take and create a series of little rectangles. And these are going to be the notches that I'm going to be cutting in and extruding out. I want to go from here all the way to the top, and then I want to do a couple right here. So according to the packet, my measurements for this are 2-point rectangle from here up is 1.25, and this already snaps to the length of the ply. So if I really wanted to, I can just type in PLY. That's going to work for me either way. Up 1.25. Up 1.25. And this last one is actually 1.25 as well. I don't really need to do it because it's already there. So I did it anyhow. Uh, and on to the next piece. Rectangles again. And just to keep it consistent. All right. So if you're getting kind of confused with all of these constraints and everything like this, you can actually go over to our sketch palette here and turn them off if you want to. Sometimes it makes things just a little bit easier to see as you work along and you play with these. And I'm not done yet because I still need to do my final piece, because I need to do the piece right down here. So for this one, it's the dimensions of from one edge here over, and it is, making sure I select the right one, 0.75, and I'm going to do the same thing for the opposite side. 0.75. Once I have this, I'm going to finish my sketch. All right, I'm going to turn my bodies back on. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit challenging as we look at this, but ooh, there we go. Okay, so I have these sketches here. What I want to do is this gets a little bit visually discerning here. All right, cool. This is the angle I'm at. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take these objects and I want to actually create new bodies that I'm going to use to cut. This is a little bit hard to get your head wrapped around, but if we work with it, I think you'll get it. To make this easier, I'm actually going to turn off some of these bodies. Never be afraid to just turn some stuff off, because sometimes it gets a little bit confusing going into it. So I'm going to choose this one right here. Actually, I'm going to extrude. I'm going to choose a new body right here and a body here. So these are just the tabs that I'm going to use in order to cut and extrude in. So I want to go out or go in negative PLY. So I want to make these new tabs here. I click OK. All right, so what I now have are 5 bodies that I'm going to use to cut and join the rest of the back, front, bottom, left, and right as I go through this. But I also need them on the opposite side when I work through this. So to do this, I'm going to use the mirror technique. And my objects are these right here. And I am going to use my mirror plane, which is already still right here. And new bodies, click OK, and bam. I've got new bodies set up. If I turn these on, they're still there. And the thing is they're overlapping. These are still overlapping as this goes along. So I'm going to actually turn on my front and left here. And I want these now to be solid shapes. I want these to actually become complete. To do this, I'm going to use a technique called combine. So I'm going to click this button right here. And it's going to ask me for my target body. In this situation, it's just going to be this main body right here. And then what are my tool bodies? I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I'm not going to cut. I am going to join them together. And now I have my new body here. I'm going to do the same with this one. Actually, let me check something here. No, that's not right. I know what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong. Let me back through that. All right, let's try that one more time. I'm going to combine. And I do not want to keep my tools. I want to select my target body and all of these. If I keep tools, it's going to make duplicate bodies, and I don't want that. So what I'm doing is I want to combine all these into a single body. So I'm going to join them. Okay, and you'll notice that a whole bunch of these bodies disappeared, and they came into the right, like that. I want to do the same thing for this one. Combine, and my target body is this one, and it is, the tool bodies are here, and the bottom one here. I'm good. I'm not keeping my tools. Join. All right, cool. Now these are combined, and I just have my left and my right. This makes it a lot easier. You know you did it if you go back to your left and your right. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to take this tool and I want to cut into these. Because if you look at these are still solid pieces. So I need to use them to cut. I'll hold off of that right now. All right. So to do this, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible by cutting through. I'm going to take my left and my right. And I'm going to cut into this. So to do this, I do a combine again. And my tool bodies, my target body is this one. My front one, the one that still is a solid piece. That is, excuse me, that one, the left, is what I want to use to actually cut into it. So I'm going to select these here. This is my target body. I'm going to use these right here for my tools, this one and this one. So think of this kind of like a buzz saw or an imprint that's going to cut into this. And I do not want to join, I want to cut. And I also want to keep these tools. If I don't keep these tools, then I'm going to lose these two and these bodies will just disappear. So I click keep tools, click, and now when I look at this, if I get rid of my left and my right, I've actually cut out that object. going to keep this simple. I'm going to get rid of this one just to make it easy. I'm going to go back to my other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Combine. My target body is the one that has not been modified. My tool bodies are this one and this one. Once again, I am cutting now, and I'm keeping the tools. And if I did this right, all right, cool. So this is done properly. Now I also need to do that to the bottom. So if I look down here at this one, my bottom still does not have any pieces that are taken out of it. So I actually need to do that. It's not that one. It's my left and my right again. So I'm going to go in here. I am going to select or combine. This once again is my target body. These are my tools that I'm using to cut. I am keeping these tools so these do not go away. It's just going to cut away this piece. I click OK. And bam, bam, my body's good. All right. We've been through a lot. If you want to take a little stretch break or something like that, I would think that you might want to do that. All right, so I'm going to bring these back, etc., etc. All right, so I'm going to look at my bottom here, and I need to make two more little boxes here. So once again, I'm going to choose a sketch. I'm going to make it on the base here. And I am going to use our friend project, include, and everything here. I can just choose that. Okay. Do this. Okay. So with this, I'm going to go in again and create new triangles right here. From here over. And notice that this is no longer 1.1. For some reason, it's not snapping to it because I don't have the geometry. I didn't set the geometry up that way. So I'm going to have to manually put in ply. So it gives me the right amount and 0.75. Same thing with this one. POI 0.75. And same to the bottom. All right, now that I have these, I do not have this piece here, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off. Make sure I get this right. All right, great. Finish sketch. Okay, so with this, I now want to extrude up. So I'm going to extrude and take this object and this object, and I'm going to put in negative ply, negative PLY, so it goes in. And once again, it is not cut. This is new body. Okay. Make this simple. I am going to actually get rid of everything except for my front and back. Sorry, my front and back. And I'm going to join these two together. Not cut. join. Once again, I messed up because I chose new body, or to keep the tools. So let me try that again. Join, click, click. Don't keep my tools. There we go. And the same thing for this one. Click, click. There we go. All right, now that I've got these, I can use these to cut out my bottom. So with this, I'm going to do another combine. My target body is the bottom, and my tool bodies are this one and this one. Once again, I'm not joining, I am cutting. So it's going to cut it through, but I'm going to keep my tools so I do not lose these sides. There. Now if I did this right, there we go. So looking at this, I now have a full candle votive that is going to fit together nice and snug. And that's the end of it. Take your time, enjoy, make sure you use Control Z to undo your work. If things seem strange, you can use your history to back through things and make that work as well. So enjoy.